Hi, my name's John. I'm an alcoholic. Today's April 16th. The daily reflection is anger, a dubious luxury. If we were to live, we had to be free of anger. The grouch and the brainstorm were not for us. They may be the dubious luxury of normal men, but for alcoholics, these things are poison. Alcoholics Anonymous, page 66. Here's the reflection. A dubious luxury. How often have I remembered those words? It's not just anger that's best left to non-alcoholics. I built a list including justifiable resentment, self-pity, judgmentalism, self-righteousness, false pride, and false humility. I'm also surprised to read the actual quote. So well have the principles of the program been drummed into me that I keep thinking, all of these defects are listed too. Thank God I can't afford them, or I surely would indulge in them. Anger, a dubious luxury. I had a really good meeting this morning. The topic was kind of getting to know people better, I guess, or asking other questions, or part of it kind of felt like almost a sales program, many of the ones that I've gone through. And it's interesting. It kind of jogged a thought with me. I had a general outlook on the world that, I disliked people. I hated people. I just happened to be good with them, right? That was a skill of mine, was my ability to be good with people. And I had VP of sales that said to me, from the trailer park to the country club, I can take you anywhere. And while that's a nice thing to say to a salesperson, to a person, a human, someone who has their own wants, needs, and desires, it's kind of sad, especially if you as the person, live each one of those different people that everyone wants you to be, as opposed to just being your true self. And I've struggled with that throughout my entire life. I think as we look at like codependence in relationships, the one I'm in now or leaving now, and other ones that I've had, is I kind of had this trend in my life where, 3 to 5 years would go really well. I'd latch onto a woman and, go through life, or I'd latch onto a job and go through life. And then eventually I'd kind of twisted myself into a pretzel that wasn't me anymore, and I'd have to lash out, get away, and almost restart again. But I kept restarting that cycle of, all right, let's get people to like me, who, what are their wants and needs, and how do I fit into that? And I just continue to lose myself. And I think that's, kind of where anger comes from, is a lot of that is, I'd done things internally or myself that had taken me away from self. Unknowingly. It's not like I consciously woke up in the morning and said, let's be everything to everyone. It was, how do I make sure everyone around me is happy? I felt safe in that environment until I felt unsafe, until I'd lost myself. So I think this is just one of the work in progress things for me, for sure. But it's interesting how, when I started this program, and really, over the last few months, I wouldn't have said that I was an angry person, but there was definitely anger there. But upon a lot of reflection, that look in the mirror, which hasn't been fun recently, I've found that the anger was justified, but it probably should have been pointed in different directions. So thanks for listening to me ramble, guys. Hope you enjoyed this. Have a great day.